Well, good morning all. It is Monday. It's about 8:30 and I have had a lovely few days. I had my Sunday off, did my usual church stuff, and then hung out with some people, which was nice. Put the vlogging camera down, which was good for me. It was a scorcher of a day yesterday. I've decided next time I'm coming here I am definitely packing normal attire, because I walked through Hereford city centre looking like a hiker, which is fine, but I just realised I quite like my nice dresses, and I slept awful the Saturday night. I was itching from head to toe, and I was turning around like a kebab in the night, just round and round and round, and I thought, let's just try and turn this sleeping bag into a quilt. And so I just unzipped it and wrapped it around me, and so my body was against the mat and it made a lot less noise, so that was fine. But then I realised that one half of my body was freezing cold and the other was alright, and it's because on the bottom of the sleeping bag there's not as much padding, because that's going to be on the sleeping mat and it doesn't need it. So if you turn it into a quilt, you're going to have half of the sleeping bag on you, and I could feel the cold coming through, and I thought, oh, this isn't going to work. And I woke up completely starker, so I'd obviously got so annoyed with everything that I just took all my clothes off, so that was awkward. But I finally think I got off to sleep. It just meant on Sunday morning I felt rough, so I managed to get to church and everything, and it was fine in the end. But last night I slept so well. I think because it was a little bit cooler at night, the sleeping bag was more right for the conditions, and yeah, I was fine. I got into my usual sleeping position and I put some music on in a headphone, one of my earpieces in, and then I was gone. And then I woke up at about 5:30. I think I woke up in the night with so there's an awful lot of church bells that go on around here. I think I woke up at 2:15 or 2:45 thinking there was a wedding going on. I think it's because all the different bells have different tones, and when they're all playing similar at similar times, it just sounded like the wedding bells, which was very confusing at 2 in the morning. And I'm next to the Sea Cadet place, and they were singing some kind of shanty songs at 11:30, so that was interesting, being serenaded by that as I fell asleep. But yeah, that was funny. They've got I'm gonna call it a pretend gun. I have a feeling it's for saluting things, and I was just hoping they weren't gonna set that off at 11:30 at night, given that I was sleeping right next to it. Thankfully they were just obviously doing some, I don't know, maintenance 11:30. So anyway, I slept well and woke up at 8 this morning, which I wanted to get going by 8, but the reality is I slept, and that's all I can ever hope for at night. So, and I don't feel particularly groggy this morning, so yeah, I am going to get up something steep today. I've got options of going to Skirrid. There's a place at Kington, there's a ridge that will take probably a similar amount of time as Skirrid would, when you include everything from leaving from the bus stop. The walks itself are quite different, but the actual walking in and walking out, the time spent out would be about the same. And I could even go as far as Bracken and do Pennyfan as well, because there's literally just one bus there, and I just spend a couple of hours heading up there and down. Or do Fan 4, I don't know how you pronounce that, FAWR. I've been wanting to do that for a while, because I always head up Elephant just because it's familiar, but the other side of the mountain there is there's some other nice, but I think you just need a bit more navigational awareness, and I'm not sure whether I would trust myself completely to do something that needed a little bit more navigational at the minute. I'd be fine. I'm being navigationally lazy, that's all. So we'll just have to see what my mind feels like. But yeah, I am definitely getting out today. The sun's come out, so it started to get hot in here, so that is a sign that I need to get out, so good. But yes, all is well. Had a lovely weekend, and I am raring to go today, being my last day here, and I'm ready for my porridge. I normally don't like it, but yeah, and I didn't want to do any more camping on Saturday night. I was feeling that bad, but I think after last night I feel like it's redeemed itself, and I feel really organised in here, so that all helps. Well, hello everybody. I'm so annoyed. It's just gone 11:10, and I needed to leave right now so that I could make the bus that goes straight to the Story Arms. I decided that I probably ought to do something that I know today, and I just had a quiet time, and it went on a little longer than planned. And so what's really frustrating is I know I could leave now and I could peg it and make the bus, but actually that's not going to do my health good, and so I am in the quandary now that I would probably miss the bus by about 2 minutes, I reckon. Sorry, bug. And I've got to get water and stuff, so I know that I'm gonna miss this bus. So I'm sat by my door half ready, going, now what? So yes, reassess the situation. Is that a song in Oliver? I am reviewing the situation, but at least I'm up and dressed and ready to go somewhere. So I think I just need mountains, and I think Skirrid I really am going to have to leave at 8:20. That no ifs, no buts, that's going to be my leave point. Get up at 6 and just get going, I think. And that will happen. It just didn't happen this morning, so no point in beating myself up about that. I think I'm just gonna see what I can do. I need a hill, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, so I'm still in my tent. It's just gone 12:30 and it's sunny outside, so what on earth I'm doing in here, I have no idea. Faffing is the word. I just feel like I don't know what to do, and I think what needs to happen is when I'm at home, I'll write down the times of buses on a piece of paper with some walk ideas, and then I decide if I wake up at 8 o'clock, this is where I'm gonna go. If I wake up at 9 o'clock, this is where I'm gonna go, etc, etc. And if I wake up at 3 o'clock, or get going at 3 o'clock, rarely do I wake up at 3 o'clock, but you know what I mean, like feel like yes, time to get out. It's finding those things to do where all I have to do is pick up a piece of paper and go. I think what I've been over ambitious with is trying to plan and then do. It just can be a bit overwhelming in my head. So I think when I go home, I am going to come up with some ideas, and also realise that the walking book I've got just needs a little bit more than half a day. So for example, I've still got half a day left. I should be able to do quite a lot in that time, but the reality is I don't know what that is. So I think when I get home, it's a case of going through all the options. And it might be today that I just go somewhere and go to a tourist information point and then go and find some of the shorter walks, or potentially just get a few more guidebooks that are just for shorter times. I don't know why I thought I could come here and be radically different than I am at home in terms of what I'm able to do. But I think most of the time I'm pretty happy if I just get to some hills. I don't feel the need to go and ascend everything. So I think it's just finding those places where I can just nip out on a bus and then go chill out somewhere. Because being sat in a tent for half a day isn't going to do me any good. So, although I've done a lot of organising, but there's only so much organising you could do before you're like, no, just get out. I think, yeah. So, I've no idea what the rest of the day is. I've got to stop my headspace going sad, because I think the reality is my expectations are just a little bit too high. So, yes. So now I'm like, well, now what? I tell you what, that's the joys of living with ME and fibro. It just is a pain. It just is a pain. But we should see what happens. Hopefully this vlog won't end up just be me moaning in a tent. That is not what I was aiming for. But the nice thing is that I know that in the next few trips that I'll have coming here, there is plenty to do. And I don't know why I expected that I would wake up at 6 in the morning without an alarm. I think I would have been fine this morning if I'd woken up with an alarm and just got going. Just lots to learn about, isn't there? But such is life. And I'll just see what I can get done this afternoon that involves me not being in a tent. Right, I am going to Hay-On-Wye. Well, hello everybody. I am out, and as you can see, and I made it to Hay-On-Wye, and I'm currently perched, quite considerably perched, on a riverbank, and I don't want to be sliding down into the river, so I'm gonna be watching out for that, mainly my bag. But yeah, I made it. I've walked through the lovely town. It's so pretty. Yeah, I definitely want to come back here again. I have been here before, but literally to the bus stop, and then I headed straight up towards Haybluff, so I never actually really saw the town centre. It was all about getting into the Black Mountains that day, and then I broke my ankle, so I never even made it back. So yeah, I made it, and I'm obviously by the bridge, so you are going to hear the occasional lorry, I think, but it's just so nice here. It's way better than sitting in a tent, let's face it, isn't it? And I'm really glad I made it out. I think that was a hard morning. Just my headspace was just not in a good place, which is not something that I would say that happens often. I'm just someone who likes to crack on with things, but no, I think it's just an awful lot to consider. I think when you're considering moving somewhere, or you've got new things that you maybe weren't having before. So as in things like with a camping, I've not done that kind of plonk myself down and explore camping trips, so it's getting used to your kit and how you like things, and all these little things when you've got ME and fibro make actually quite a big difference. And I was in quite a lot of pain when I was walking to the bus stop to get the bus in here, so I definitely should not have been hiking up Skirrid or Pennyfan or anything like that today. I think I would have arrived there and walked about 10 metres and thought, maybe not today. So but I would have been sat in the hills and mountains, so I would have been very happy. But I think just getting out anywhere, just somewhere like this, and just hearing the birds, and it's just lovely. I mean, there's a lovely river in Hereford I could have just gone and sat next to be fair, but I think there's a part of me that does like to just get out of somewhere. and so if I am going to be moving to Hereford or that area, I definitely need to know where I can go just to get some peace and quiet, or just to feel like I've gone somewhere. I think I'm just an exploring person. I just like to, I think that adventurous spirit will never go, even with the ME and the fibre. I think I'll always have that desire to just go somewhere. And there's so many nice quaint shops and cafes here, so I'm not going to be bored. Even if I just came here and had a nice drink somewhere, or a piece of cake or whatever, sometimes that's just what you need, isn't it? So yeah, here I am. I had a bit of a drama with the bus driver when he came in. He charged me full fare for getting a return to get in and back, and I think I should only have paid a small amount, because there's an agreement that if you're crossing over the border, you only have to pay a certain amount, or I think with your concessionary bus pass you should be able to get to one side or the other on one bus. So I'm gonna have to call Stagecoach tomorrow and find out what the score is with that, because it does make a big difference on where you're going. I mean, the nice thing about Herefordshire is actually in a lot of it, it is in England, so you can actually get quite far. I was going to go to Kington, and they've got a tourist information centre there, but I wouldn't have been able to get to the tourist information before it closed, so that's why I didn't go there today. But I can find out local walks there, and that's still in England, so I definitely should be able to get there. But this is literally just over the border. I could probably get a walk from where the border is, technically, but it seems like it's just a bit confusing about what you're entitled to and what you're not, and computer said no, so I just paid it, and we'll see what they say. And I don't want to claim things that I'm not entitled to. It's just very confusing when on the website it says you can, and when you get a slightly lively bus driver saying no, and then you go to a tourist information point and they're looking and going, no, that doesn't make sense either. So I feel a little bit vindicated. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but I felt quite emotional afterwards. I mean, I don't feel very emotionally resilient anyway at the minute, so I may as well didn't burst into tears, to be honest. And but I feel a bit like, wow, no, actually I think I was right to feel a bit miffed after having that chat with the tourist information lady. So thank you very much, tourist information lady. You definitely reassured me, and I've got a really nice little map. I think I showed you, but I'm just opening it up. So this is the map, and I think I showed it on the on my charity trip when I passed through Hereford. I noticed there was this bus map online, but now I have an actual physical map and I can draw all over it and work out exactly where I can go. So I'm happy about that, and it has all the different bus companies. There's a lot of different bus companies, but that's really, really handy, and so I'm really glad that they had that. I'm really grateful. I mean, it's out of date a little bit, but I can keep a little eye on that. So yeah, I'm sorry to be going on. It's very hard to be concise when you're tired, but I'm just going to chill out here. The bus is in about an hour and a bit, and I'll just chill out and yeah, just unwind a bit. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and try and not fall down into the river. That's also something I don't want to do. Especially when it's so murky and manky down there. So this is one of these protein bars that you can get, a bit like Grenade or something like that, I think. And it's got 20 grams of protein. I don't normally have these when I'm just going for a little sit down by a river. Feels a bit dramatic. Normally I like these when I've done, you know, an actual mountain walk or something a bit more exciting. But I am going to have it, even though I normally save them for the more lively trips out. I need to try some of these anyway and find out which ones I like, so I guess there'll be a lesson learnt there, even if it feels a little bit, do I really need this right now? I am not an elite athlete, but alas, I am elite. I am, you know, but not in that way. Well, I like this. It comes in 2 little bites, and I mean the name should be in the, you know, the clue should be in the name, but I like this because I don't often eat a whole grenade bar all at once. I find it a bit much. So I like the fact that this comes already in a manageable size. So I'm already quite happy. Yeah, well, I'll try that again. It's not too bad. Wasn't my favourite I've ever had. It's a bit cakey. It's got a different texture than some of the other protein bars that I've tasted. But I definitely would try that when I'm actually hiking, rather than sitting by a river. Yeah, that was alright. Hey lovely people, I am back from Hay-On-Wye. Can't quite believe I made it that way, and I'm feeling chuffed, mainly because I've just done my washing up that I've been meaning to do for quite some time. And while I had my boots on and I came into the tent, as I came in from town, from city to centre, whatever, yes, I thought, right, now's the time. Whew, it was really nice to get that sorted. So yeah, so glad I went out. I just always feel so much better once I've got out of wherever I am. I think it's just important. I feel like I've got some kind of hormone buzzing around my body, so happy days. I don't need to cook because I went to Wetherspoons and charged my power bank a bit and my phone fully, and I've got a couple of batteries left for the GoPro, so that should do me till tomorrow morning. Have no plans tomorrow morning other than to pack up, but I would really love to show you the river a bit more, because I mentioned it on the first evening that I came here, that there was a really nice just vibe and feel when you walk along the river. So if I get a chance to do that, I will, but I'm making no promises. I'd like to wake up at 4:30 and do a sunrise time lapse, but that would require setting an alarm, and I'm sure everybody else doesn't want to wake up at 4:30, so yes. Let's be kind. While camping I can do that because there's no one to disturb apart from the sheep, so yes, but I'm having to learn to be a bit more sociably sensible and kind, so and that's that. And let's face it, do I look like I really want to be waking up at 4:30 at the minute? I think having that catch-up sleep last night was good though. I think I clearly needed that. But yeah, I've just seen it. I haven't drunk my wine. That's gonna happen tonight. Celebrate getting out when I really didn't want to get out. Yes. And I think I think this conversation will be very dull to anyone that doesn't have health conditions, but all I can say is if you've got fibromyalgia or you've got ME or you've got long-term health conditions that stop you from either doing what you want to do or makes life that bit more complicated, I think all I would say is that there is a reality that getting out is good, but not if it's going to make you unwell. And so I think what I'm really happy with this trip is that I've been prepared to go and do the bigger hills that I should really be able to do and should be fine, but I've given myself that grace to go, okay, that's a just if need be. And because it's a new place, it's harder to do that, but I think it's been a good learning point for me for Hereford to know what are the smaller things that I can do, like this afternoon go to Hay-On-Wye and just chill out, and go to the tourist information point and find all the information that I need for next time that I go. I'll have more of an idea of what I can do that's a smaller walk, and just also about pacing. I think pacing looks different for everybody, but I think it's quite hard to convey on a camera what pacing looks like for me. So what tends to happen is I will walk a very short while and rest. I would describe it as soon as I feel pressure on my body is when I'll just go, time to adjust, time to do something different, and that normally means stopping and just letting my heart rate get back to normal, or just feeling like my body is just a little bit less stressed. And it's interesting because I take my resting pulse before I start any activity and it's that bit higher, so between 80 and 90, I know that I'm more likely to have a bad time out. For me it's a good indicator of where I'm at in general and how far potential I can push myself. Whereas when I'm pretty, I wouldn't say normal, but when I'm not in such a bad place, my resting pulse goes right back to normal. So there's all these little things that you can do and learn about that gives you those signs of where you're at with things, and all I can do is encourage you to just make the most of what those are, putting in place the things that you need to do to achieve those things. So for me, breaking down big things, I mean, you get to the bottom of Hay Bluff and look up the top and you think, blimey, how on earth am I going to get up there? And I think the way I approach it is, well, I'll just go up to this bit and just see how I feel, and then I have a rest. I go, okay, let's go up to this bit, and then I'll have a rest, and I can tend to make sure that my mind is always quite chilled out. So even if my body's working hard, it's like my mind is in the Bahamas. That's all I can describe it. Like, I really try and make sure that my whole body is not stressed, as in my whole, holistically, whereas I can't stop like my body from going to every hill, but I can definitely help at least making my mind chilled out, which is why I'm quite a chilled out person, because I've actively worked on not getting too excited, not getting too pumped up. It's like the worst thing you could do is to just try and that whole dig deep and crack on is just, no, that doesn't work for me anyway. I think digging deep just looks very different when you've got ME. It's you have to just almost be disciplined to say no as much as to keep going. I think there's a real wisdom in knowing when enough is enough, and when you've got that drive, it's allowing yourself to have that, as in giving space. So I find that if I reduce everything else down, then there might be something that I can do a bit more of, if that makes sense. So if I just try and make sure that all the other tasks in the day are just more gentle, then there's normally one thing that I can just normally perk up a bit, and that might be a walk or work, or if I've got a particular big task. So yeah, it's all I can say is, if you live with this, you have my sympathy, because I do know how hard it is, and I know how much it impacts life on every level. And whilst I'm not in your shoes, I know what kind of shoes it is like to wear. It's like trying to hike a volcano in stilettos, and I might have done that. So that might be why I know what that analogy feels like. Anyways, So I'm gonna have my wine and chill out, and I probably won't speak to you later because, I mean, hello, there's not an awful lot to say other than good night. But yeah, I'm gonna have just a bit of a reflection, things that I can take away, and yeah, just trust that you've all been able to make the most of this nice weather as well. I definitely would encourage everyone, even if you've got a garden, go and lay in the garden, get some vitamin D, or in a local park. Yeah, does the soul good. And on that lovely note, I will see you soon. What the heck? To be fair, drinking it out of a bottle may not be very ladylike, but it does give some good aeration to the wine, so that's what I'm sticking to. Well, hello everybody. If you can hear all that chiming in the background, that tells you that it's 10 o'clock and I am ready to hit the sack. The sack is still behind me, still need to undo it from the dry bag, but it's just been such a lovely evening, just with the sun set out, and I wouldn't be able to capture it on the camera, so I didn't really try and focus on that very much, because all you would assume was motorhomes. But it was lovely, really lovely day, much more than the forecast said it potentially could be. You never really know when it says cloudy, how cloudy it's going to be, and it was overcast at times, but most of the time it was just really nice. So yeah, I went and checked myself over in the changing area for ticks and other hitchhikers because I was sat by the river in Hay-On-Wye, and there was quite a lot of little creepy crawlies, and creepy crawlies love me. I think I taste really nice, so yeah, thankfully all good. So I've brought hot chocolates and stuff with me over in the corner. You probably can't even see it because it's in the dark corner of my tent, and I've not had any. I just don't fancy hot chocolate, which is bonkers, because if I was at home, I just love a hot chocolate before bed. I don't have it every night because I think I'd end up adding quite a considerable amount of calories to my input, but I do really like a nice little warm drink before bed, and nope, and for some reason during camping doesn't happen. Or the other thing that I definitely also discovered is I do like carrots, just a little carrot to nibble on when I'm walking. I'm definitely going to look at getting some carrots. I'm turning into a rabbit. That's not good. I love salad and I love munching on carrots on walks. Yeah, so I'm probably going to just be mumbling on about absolutely nothing, so I think it's time for me to just head off to the land of Nod and hopefully see you in the morning. A good night. That was supposed to be blowing a kiss to you all, by the way, in case you're wondering. Good morning. It's just gone 5:30 and I wish I'd woken up at this hour a few days ago. I could have really done with that. Slept so nice. It's so snuggly in here. And I don't have to get up. I want to go for a run, which is bizarre. I thought my get up and go had got up and gone yesterday, but I think it's returned. Yay. Yeah. Well, good morning anyways. this is lovely. But I probably shouldn't fall asleep holding you. You'd have like an hour of me just sleeping. What I should do is take you for a walk down the river while it's quiet. But I'm not feeling the enthusiasm for this right now. So you're just gonna have to imagine that there's a river with a path. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen that. But this isn't a podcast, so I should be showing you something interesting, really, other than my tired, sleepy face. But, I'm in a cocoon of joy. I feel like the sun is coaxing me out the door. Look at it. Oh, I've got to show you a little bit, surely. Hello, it is about 7:15 and I'm raring to go. However, yeah, I need to get home in one piece, and I know as soon as I get going I might regret being so enthusiastic. But this is exactly how I wanted to feel a few days ago when I wanted to head up Skirrid. I think it goes to show what a good night's sleep does, doesn't it? But I think it's just the way it goes with CFS. You have some days that just are not, nope, they just don't happen. So, what a funny old trip. This has been a good one. Learned a lot about expectations, so I cannot complain, which is a phrase I use a lot. I cannot complain. So yeah, I could go into the city centre and do something this morning, but I think I'm just going to have a slow morning and tidy up a bit. I've actually already packed away quite a bit. I got going quite quickly, but yes, I think it's just a nice steady morning. When I feel ready, get out the door. But yeah, I do love it when I wake up like this. So it's quite rare. Oh, joy. Well, good morning all again. It's about 10:15 and well and truly time for me to pack up, I think. I made a bit of an error in I climbed into my sleeping bag and laid down, and I did a few stretches and just found myself fast asleep, so I've had a nice snooze for an hour that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the trip's gone. I've learnt so much about how to manage my health while I'm away and doing camping for more than a night or two. I think I've learnt a lot about how I might go about when I do a long distance trail. I think it'll be a very different experience, just because although I might have stuff, I think you're always packing it up and putting it away again. So a bit like when I did my charity trip. So yeah, it's an interesting difference to get used to. But yeah, really time to get going, I think. I think I need to be off here by 12, but I want to be leaving before then. and the buses are about once an hour, so I need to make sure that I research that just a little bit, so I don't end up turning up 5 minutes after a bus has come and waiting there for 50 minutes for the next one. So I'll try and time that a bit. But yeah, I'm looking around at all my stuff going, actually this looks pretty organised. Look at this, all of my little dry bags full of stuff. And my hoodie that I never actually used really, I used it this morning and that was the first time that's been used, so yeah. So I might have to think about clothing next time that I go. I think that this might be the last time I switch on this GoPro. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed journeying with me on this little trip, being a bit different, but it's been good, and I'm really looking forward to coming here again and being able to perhaps do a little bit more chip at the things you can do. Hey, just keep doing what you can, and here's hoping I get the nice weather again. I think I've been very fortunate this trip to have the weather I have. But yeah, I trust you all well, and I see you next time.